and thank you for joining us. My name is Lawrence Lang, and today I've travelled to Suffolk to spend some time with Gillian Knight, who was the principal contralto with the D'Oyly Carte from 1959 until 1965. Gillian, good morning, and thank you for agreeing to talk to me.
Good morning, Lawrence. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. You joined the D'Oyly Carte in August 1959 at the age of 24, succeeding Anne Drummond Grant. What was your inspiration to audition for the D'Oyly Carte?
Well, I was sharing a house with two girls at the Royal Academy of Music. I was still a student at the time.
Right.
And about to take my LRAM, which I did during after finding that I was joining D'Oyly Carte. I did that, so that was done. And these two girls one of them actually knew Bill Coxhive.
Oh, right, yes.
And she said, well, you're about to leave the academy. Are you interested in auditioning? Because they're looking for someone to take over from Anne Drummond Grant temporarily because she's ill. Mm. And I said, oh, absolutely, yes. A job, to go into a job would be great.
Yes.
So she arranged an audition for me at D'Oyly Studios, very close to the academy.
Right.
I went there, and there was Bill puffing away on a cigarette. And
different times, weren't they?
Yes, just Bill and the pianist and me, and I sang a bit to him, and he was lovely, warm, outgoing character, and very encouraging. And I thought, oh well, that's that. Off I went. And then the next thing I heard was that I'd actually been offered the job.
Oh, right.
So, I couldn't have been more fortunate, really.
No.
To have just done one audition, and then, as it transpired, sadly, Anne Drummond Grant died a few months later. And so it turned into 6 years, that job.
So do you remember what you sang for the audition piece?
No, not at all. Not at all, no. I can't remember anything about the audition itself.
No.
I think it was a bit of a whirl, really. It was my sort of first audition as such.
Nerve-wracking times.
A bit, yeah. Yes. But, so, you couldn't have that sort of good fortune these days, really. It's just marvellous for me that happens, and gave me 8 performances a week then. Apart from we had a month off during which time we recorded an opera as well, usually. So that was really incredible for me. I met a wonderful group of people, and I was thinking last night, actually, I was lying in bed last night, I was thinking, I don't remember having had a row or a misword with any of them during that 6 years. Is that,
everyone that I've spoken to always refers to the company as being a family.
Yes.
And, as with all families, there's possibly a few sort of ups and downs,
yes.
But I suppose if you're all travelling together for that amount of time each year in everyone's pockets, you need to get on with people, don't you?
Well, yes, and I think being a principal as well, you didn't come into contact with people a lot, because a principal cannot, especially when you're doing 8 shows a week, you cannot do things during the day that are going to tire you out ready for the evening's performance. So, I was limited to my social life during that time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had a voice, you see.
No. So then those days with matinees, even worse.
Yes, well, exactly. It was, looking back, it's a very fortunate life, but it's a very hard life.
Yes.
And it was a very low-paid life, may I say.
Yes. Did you find there was much interaction between the principals and the chorus? I do hear sometimes that, certainly in the earlier times, the two sectors of the company were kept apart, that the principals didn't mix with the chorus and vice versa.
Well, we didn't mix as such for the reason I've just said, really. We of course we knew each other very well, and we did mix in that we met in digs and so on, and as we used to go into digs in those days. And
hopefully we'll talk about that in a moment. Yes.
And so we did meet there, and we knew each other well, but as far as anything social goes, very few and far between, because we cannot socialise and sing principal roles.
No.
You can do it as a chorister, because if you have the odd tired night, nobody's really going to notice.
No.
But they notice immediately.
You are on show the whole time, aren't
Yeah.
you? Yes.
Yeah.
And with your roles as well, unlike, say, John Reed, who gave up, a major general, so he had a night off, the contralto was on for all of them, wasn't she?
Eight shows a
Yes.
week, yes. And it really, you needed, I wondered, in retrospect, I look back and I thought, why on earth did they choose me? Because I was 24, I was very slim, very young, very inexperienced. I did have the right sort of voice. That was about all I had, and I thought, that had been me, I probably wouldn't have chosen me for those parts. But then I thought, but what about the sort of toll it takes on you, travelling at weekends, 8 performances in the week, no social life as such. You need somebody young, enthusiastic, with no ties, as I was at that time.
Yes.
So I think that was the prime thing you needed. And a lot of padding and a lot of makeup in those days.
Yes.
I remember Ken Sanford helping me with that.
Oh, right.
With the makeup, and we were drawing on the lines and things, and he said, "Oh, it's all right, don't worry about it." He said, "You won't need this for very long," and he's absolutely right, of course.
So, how did you feel about being the butt of WS Gilbert's rather unkind jibes at the elderly women that stouter than they used to be?
Well, I think we've got to accept that does happen, and I do think, judging by most of my friends who are much older than the characters of Gilbert and Sullivan operas, a sense of humour was the great thing, and I think all the characters have a lovely, robust side to them, which is, stalwart type of people who laughed a lot and were able to see the funny side of things, and I think that's the best thing to do about people who made jibes about old and fat people.
Yes.
And that's what I think the characters did, you know, so that's the way I like to bring that in as well.
Yes.
Strong characters, but with a more gentle side as well.
And that little smile behind it.
Yes.
So, as you mentioned, you were with the company really for only 6 years, but you certainly made a big impact. You played all 8 of the alto parts that were in the repertoire at the time. How long did it take you to learn the parts, and who trained you?
Well, now, I did it remarkably quickly. One thing I could do, and that was memorise quickly, thank goodness, because I had 1 week to stage each role before we were away on tour. That's what happened. So I memorised, learnt, and then Snooky Fancourt was a sort of mentor, really, and she came and she also told me that I needed to dress properly as a member of Miss D'Oyly Carte's and that being a student, impecunious student, she took me along to her dressmaker. Well, it wasn't a dressmaker as such. It was a sort of fashion shop, and at my expense, I have to say, she picked out a couple of things that I could use for the train journeys and so on. That we should present ourselves very smartly on the train as representing the D'Oyly Carte Company, and so yes, I remember she did that. She also taught me the basics of moves, rolls, and so on, and the rest of the time, within a week, I'd learned each role separately, and a week each. 6 roles I was started with, you see.
Right.
And so I had 6 weeks, and then meeting up with the company, and the first thing we did was record HMS Pinafore.
Yes, so that was done before you even went on tour, wasn't it?
Which is why I never want to hear it again. I'll tell you why. No, it's simply because these things are set in stone once you've made them, and all I can hear is my inexperience. my lack of character and my all those things, you know, and things which it takes some years to develop. So
Yes.
so when I look back on it, everything I've done, really, I think I wouldn't do it like that anymore. You know.
And that was my very first Gilbert and Sullivan set of LPs that I ever bought.
Was it really?
I was involved in a school production of Pirates, knowing nothing about Gilbert and Sullivan before, and I was totally hooked after seeing it. And I didn't know which opera then to investigate next. And I think because Pinafore is mentioned in the Major General's song, I thought, well, let's try Pinafore. So that was the set that I bought.
Oh my goodness! You have my permission never to hear it again. From my point of view. Oh dear. So thinking of that company, I was so very fortunate also to go into the company at a time when they had such a wonderful set of principals. I'm not saying that later principals weren't also, but from my experience, people like Donald Adams,
Yes.
who's never been surpassed in my opinion in his roles as a singing actor. He was incredibly marvellous, and they all taught me so much. I mean, he taught me to refresh a performance, every performance, to think of it as if it was the first time, because it's so easy when you've done things many times to skip over words.
You go onto autopilot, don't you?
Well,
or
you
there's
can,
a danger.
you can
that
do, yes, you can do. So it's really important to think it afresh each night with whatever that particular day has brought for you. You know, you can bring some of that into the character, but it should be renewed every time, and that's what he did. And he taught me that. Ken Sanford was also fantastic, and lovely. I was so lucky. Valerie, of course.
Yes.
Valerie had lots of things going on with Valerie. Later on in Grand Opera, we did a lot together.
Yes.
Our very first Grand Opera together, we did, and many things abroad. Geneva and all over the place we went together. So, yeah, and Jean, of course, dear Jean Hindmarsh. Yes, very happy memories of Jean. Yeah, she was, well, again, my good fortune was incredible, thinking what singers have to do now in order to get a job. And
the time that you were with the company was certainly one of the golden ages of the company, wasn't it?
I've heard it referred to as such.
Yes.
I'm in no position to judge that, I'm afraid. Only from those particular artists who, were the best.
But as you say, there's such big names that were around at that time.
Yeah.
You know, the Alan Stylers.
Oh,
and,
dear Alan. Yeah, he was my best man, you know.
Oh, right.
At the wedding, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and another Birmingham. He's a Midlander like me. Yes.
And Tom Round.
Yes, I did a lot with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talking about the recordings, you recorded all of your roles except for Ruth in The Pirates, Katisha in Mikado, and Lady Blanche in Ida. Did you enjoy the process of recording, or did you much prefer actually being on stage with the audience there?
I did very much like recording.
Right.
I really liked it because you still did your the acting and everything, but it was a more relaxed time, and not having to put the makeup on and all that was great, to just assume the character. But yes, I did enjoy being able to spend time getting the music right. You see, as I say, if you do things many, many times, you can slip into bad habits.
Yes. But you were saying that the recordings were sometimes done during the holiday break,
yes.
So that then sort of cuts into your time off as well, then,
yes,
didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yeah. I didn't even think about it at that time. I, for the first few months, I was sort of on my own, and then of course Trevor and my husband, started going out together, and not going out so much as sort of talking on the side of the stage and things like that.
So you actually met through the company, did you?
We did.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a fun meeting in a way.
So eyes across the quarterdeck or something.
Not quite. But what happened was, on our first train call to our first job, we got the girls in one carriage, and the crew were in another carriage. My husband being one of the crew, he helped Harry Haste on the stage, a stage carpenter and so on, and he was new to the job as well that first day, and he was in another carriage with them. Anne Sessions.
Oh, right, yes.
Did a little recce along the cage to have a look what the men looked like in their, you know. She came back and gave us a report. You see, she said, "Oh, there's a very dishy young man in the next carriage, you know." So one by one we went along and had a little look in there.
Wonderful.
We had a little look in there, and oh yes, he looks nice. Anyway, came back and had a little laugh about that. But sure enough, he was the one who eventually became my husband.
Oh, excellent.
I kind of nabbed him, I suppose.
So that one's mine.
Actually, I was more impressed. He did look very good, I have to say, very handsome and lovely, charismatic Irishman. But I was impressed by his kindness. Right. Yeah, I could see him being kind to people, and,
yes.
and that impressed me a lot. And
very important.
Quite soon we sort of expressed an interest in each other, may I say.
Oh, right.
Putting it delicately.
Thinking back to the recordings, and you were saying that you didn't like the Pinafore because of your sort of lack of experience
yes.
at that time.
Yeah.
From what I've read, you're also sort of very highly critical, though, of most of the recordings that you've done, and tend not to revisit them.
I tend not to revisit them, but I've been a bit kinder to myself recently. And I've realised that sometimes you need to be kind to yourself as well as, you know, as other people. And so I've looked at it and I've thought, well, actually, that wasn't half bad. I could have done it better. I could have done this or that. You can go that, for as long as you live, that will happen.
Yes.
It will never happen that you do a perfect performance. No. So, and also, from the beginning, I didn't really try to please people. I know that sounds awful. I was absolutely delighted if people were pleased, but my aim was not to please people. It was to do the thing as well as I could.
Right.
You see, and so that way, you don't worry if there is a criticism about you. Again, I was lucky with criticism on the whole. I had one or two humorous ones, but generally they were pretty good. In the beginning, quite a few commented on my youth. Right. Which apparently was still obvious through the grease paint and the padding. Yeah, but so, you know, yeah.
And the makeup in the 60s was much harsher than these days, wasn't it? With the grease paint.
Yes, it wasn't as subtle as it is these days. Well, because we weren't expecting to be filmed for a start, and that was one of the problems about being filmed, is that if you put makeup on which is realistic and looks good for the camera, then of course the audience don't get the benefit of it. And
subtle,
vocally,
yes.
It's the same thing. These days, when you listen to a DVD of an opera, you get every word, you get every you can hear all the singers perfectly. It's not realistic.
No.
You put them in front of a massive orchestra and put them in the theatre, and of course you don't catch nearly as much.
Lose bits.
So there are good and bad things about that. So
yes.
I think it's a great boon, of course, to be able to hear them properly. So, you know, that's a great step forward. I always regret not having filmed the Mikado.
Yes.
Because that is such a wonderful role.
I think it's a great regret, really, that so few of the operas were recorded.
Yes, I did video the Pirates, because the Judith DePaul set of things with Keith Michel.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, I did. So Pirates, I do have on video. or somewhere. I've no idea where.
No, I was thinking primarily of the D'Oyly Carte productions, because there have been, as you rightly say, a number of. There were the Brent Walker series.
Yeah, that's
which,
what it was. Yes, that's
Keith
what that
Michelle
was.
one
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Australian opera have done sort of quite a few that crop up on Sky Arts every now and then.
Yes, yes. I did. I was very with pirates. I seem to have, done that quite a bit. There was a cartoon, wasn't there, of pirates as well? I was in, I think.
There was a cartoon of Ruddigore.
Oh, that's the one. Yes. There you are.
Yes.
There I go.
Which I absolutely loved. Well, mainly I suppose because Ruddigore has always been my favourite. And I just think that cartoon is wonderful, even though it's so drastically cut.
Yes, that was great fun.
Do you have any sort of memories of getting involved in that, or was it really just like being in a studio, doing your bit? Did you have any involvement with the animators?
No, nothing at all.
No.
I don't remember any of that, to be honest. I really don't remember doing it.
Well, it happened and it's out there, I can assure you.
I know I did do it. But so I don't know. I think it must have been done rather quickly and in the middle of other things, I gather. But Pirates, I've done quite a lot outside D'Oyly Carte as well. The last thing I did, I think, practically, one of my last professional engagements was singing Pirates of Penzance in Chicago, in the big Lyric Theatre. And it was a really good production. The only problem is, of course, singing it. I mean, I always think it's a more intimate thing. It's a Savoy theatre type of opera, isn't it? Really, they all are, ideally. But we had to do it in this great barn. So, but it was a really, really good production. I enjoyed it. I've got a picture of it somewhere to show you.
So, in a venue that size, did you have sort of microphones and PA systems to help sort of amplify the voices, or were you expected to fill the whole sort of venue off your own back, as it were?
I don't remember having any amplification, but maybe there was certainly nothing attached to us.
No.
But there might have been something there that I didn't know about, if you see what I mean. I don't know. But we didn't have any obvious amplification.
To fill,
huge,
isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, it's huge. It's not the problem filling it. It's really a problem getting the dialogue as well distinctly over the clarity of it. Yeah, yeah. It's not the volume of sound. It's as you say, the clarity and the diction and all that. But that was lucky. Andrew Davis was conducting that.
All right. Yes.
Yeah. I did well to remember that.
So, did you enjoy touring? This was before the time of the Caravan Club, so you would have been experiencing life in theatrical digs. And do you have any sort of memories of those days?
What, the digs, you mean?
The digs, yes.
Well, sort of, yes. I can remember quite. Tom and Don were sharing digs in Leeds. There was a very famous lady there. I've forgotten her name now, but she used to put up various theatricals. Tom and Don were there. We were there. Trevor and myself, and I can remember she was quite fierce. We had to be there at a certain time for the meal, and then she'd be about an hour late before she produced anything. And she was a typical theatrical landlady, but took it in our stride. It was just normal to us, you see. There's nothing unusual about that. It was quite normal. We never even gave it a second thought. There's no glamour in it. Certainly no glamour in it.
Yes, but people sort of think of stardom sometimes, don't they, as this sort of glamorous life, but the nitty-gritty of it is somewhat different.
Absolutely, yes. I remember people saying to me, it must be nice not to have to do some housework, and that was later on, and I said, well, actually, I do the housework as well. That's when we weren't touring.
No. The audiences for these recorded interviews seem to enjoy hearing about on-stage mishaps. Do you have any that you can share with us that either happened to you directly or that you witnessed?
Well, there were occasional things which were quite funny about people getting the wrong word in the wrong place.
All right.
And I mean, John Reed, very occasionally, because I mean, it was a very rare thing for either him or me actually to do anything like that. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, what he said though, exactly.
Well,
He was...
I'm sure the people that are listening to this are adult enough or forgiving enough.
Okay. Well, what happened was he was saying that the Duke's speech, one of the Duke's speeches in the Gondoliers, and he said, and so and so and so and so, and he will, instead of saying ipso facto, boil down to a single gentleman. You can imagine what he said.
Right.
I'll leave that to your imagination.
Fine, yes.
As soon as he said that, the orchestra collapsed. I collapsed. I turned my back, you see, and poor John, realising what he had said, of course, he was practically speechless. Yes, speechless. So lots of heaving shoulders going on there. That occasionally happened. And occasionally happened if somebody just happened to make a wrong entrance or something. I mean, I remember also in Gondoliers when dear Geoffrey Skitch, who I have very fond memories of, suddenly appeared at the wrong moment in the palace, and he was standing looking. Oh, he said, and off, and then off he went again. And we all fell about. You know, that sort of thing occasionally happened, so that was funny. It was usually the funny things are things that where people did forget a word or something, or tripped up over a word. But I did one day. I remember I was, for some reason I can't fathom, I was writing postcards in the interval or something, and I spilt ink all over my Catishark costume.
Oh, goodness.
I know, just before I had to go on, and dear Sis Blaine, absolutely, you know, calm as a cucumber, comes in, whips it off, puts something else on, and out I go. She took it, she didn't tell me off even.
No.
But I never did that again. No, she was, I mean, incredible, wonderful ladies, Sis and Flo. Yes, yeah. No, so that sort of thing happened occasionally, but generally, no, I mean, yeah, that was the main thing. I can't think of anything else really that springs to mind right at the moment.
No. You left the D'Oyly Carte in 1965 before the birth of your daughter Rebecca, who went on to follow your example, becoming a performer as a singer with the Opera Babes, a duo that I saw on several occasions. Did you encourage your daughter's choice of profession?
I did once I knew that was the profession she wanted. Up till that point, I just wanted to make sure that, as most parents do, that you just open all the doors where they have shown any interest. I would have been happy whatever she'd chosen to do, but she obviously did have a talent for music and acting and singing, dancing. She went to the London Studio Centre then and did a whole course and private singing lessons with various people until she decided that she and I actually had a great rapport with it. Once you realise that your parent is teaching other people successily, then you have a bit more faith that they're not just teaching you because they're your parent. You know what I mean? So that all went. That took her place organically. Really, she made her choice. Once she'd done that, she was backed 100%.
Oh, excellent!
Yes, and she's still doing it.
Oh, good.
Still, yes.
Yeah. A very talented family. Yes.
Well, thank you.
You've mentioned some of the Gilbert and Sullivan activities that you did after you left the D'Oyly Carte. So you were obviously still considered to be the go-to person when a Gilbert and Sullivan role needed filling. Did you enjoy this notoriety, or did it feel like that you wanted to do something different, but you still kept getting dragged back to GNS?
I would never say I was dragged back to it. It was always a choice I was happy to make. If a job came up doing something, I've always enjoyed Gilbert and Sullivan. I've always had a great rapport with it, and I think it should be done much more in schools
Yes.
than it is done. I'm very, very keen for schools to do it. I think it's a wonderful thing to do. So I was never, unwilling to go back and do it. Far from it. But I was very happy also to have a chance to go into grand opera, which is what it was a huge step in a way to go from Katisha to Carmen.
Yes.
And so I couldn't have been more fortunate in the range of roles I've been able to do. So I could only wish that young singers had the same opportunities these days.
Yes.
So no, I was always glad to do it and happy to do it, and I did a lot with Norman Meadmore's and his son, of course, Andrew Meadmore, who took over
the Gilbert and Sullivan for all.
Exactly.
Yes.
I did a lot with him. In fact, I saw him and his wife Patricia Cope about a month ago.
Oh, right.
They came here.
Yes.
And it was just lovely to see them. I see them about once a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've still got lots of close Gilbert and Sullivan ties in that way.
Yes.
But yes, I was very happy to do something else as well. And that way you grow, of course. You can't grow if you're stuck in one groove for too long. As it was, I stayed 6 years, which was very long. So I had to work then on the top of the voice to get that part going. Cause
right.
As I used to say at the time, and as Alan Styler used to say, you have a good bottom, Gillian.
Yeah, that's
vocally speaking, I'm sure.
From what I've heard from Vera when she's been talking about Alan, yeah, that sounds about right.
yes, they were a lovely pair. Yes. They were. Yes, he went far too soon.
Yes. In the late 80s, the new D'Oyly Carte Opera Company was formed, and you joined them in 1988 to play familiar roles of the Fairy Queen and Dame Carruthers in Iolanthe and The Yeoman of the Guard. I saw you in both of those roles at the Horth Theatre in Crawley. How different did you find the new D'Oyly Carte compared to the original?
Not a lot, really.
No?
The only main difference was no touring, really. So,
no.
We didn't. It wasn't as hard from that point of view. So no. I mean, the same dedication went into the work, and the same, desire to keep them fresh and keep the Gilbert and Sullivan operas alive. That was very strong in all of us. We all wanted to do that. So no, I didn't find it any different.
No, as you say, there was very much of a sort of limited tour schedule, wasn't it?
Yes.
And often only sort of 2 or 3 operas in the sort of repertoire.
So it was easier physically than the D'Oyly Carte.
Did you just do that sort of one season with them, with the Yeoman and Iolanthe, or did you do sort of follow on?
I can't remember, to be honest.
I will have to check the research books.
Yes, do. You tell me what I was doing.
Right. So you've mentioned Carmen as being one of the roles that you took on after sort of leaving the world of Gilbert and Sullivan. What other opportunities sort of came your way?
Well, a great many. I was very lucky to do a lot of Wagner at the Opera House. I sang Erda there and Waltraute, various Norns and Valkyries and so that was, I started with those mainly, and I did the page in Salome, and later on went on to do Herodias in Salome.
Right.
Both at the Opera House, and that was filmed, the Salome.
Right.
That was a Peter Hall production with Maria Ewing.
Oh, yes.
And so that, a lot of Wagner, which I absolutely adored. I love doing Wagner. Also a lot of Richard Strauss, which I also adored. I was never any good for the young boy parts. They were high mezzos. But the lots of other roles, the Herodias being one, and probably the most taxing role that I ever tackled ever, and that was the Amma in Die Frau ohne Schatten, the Richard Strauss, and it's very, very, very long opera and a very huge orchestra, and a massive, wonderful role. It was one of those roles that, as you turned the page, when I was learning the role, I turned the page, I thought, wow, that looks technically hard, like two octave jumps and, within a couple of bars and all this, really. So you really had to get your technique working in order to get through it. And that for me was so satisfying and wonderful. Absolutely taxing, though. I did it with Charles Mackerras.
Yes.
And we did it at the Welsh National Opera. And he made me sing every note of it to him before he gave me the role, because I think he was well aware of how taxing it was. But he was very good and gave it to me. And in fact, he gave me my first Carmen's also at the Colosseum.
And a great lover of Sullivan as well.
A great lover of Sullivan,
yes. Absolutely,
yes. So exactly the right man for me, from that point of view. He was wonderful. He demanded his pound of flesh. He really did. I remember singing a performance of, I think it was a performance of Carmen one night, and then him calling me in the next morning for a 10 o'clock rehearsal on another opera. You're pretty tired after having had sung Carmen and gone home and had a bath and got rid of all the makeup and, get up the next morning, you've got to go straight into London again and rehearse, you see. And I thought that was a little bit naughty of him, but he said, I didn't say anything about it. We didn't take our problems into the theatre with us. You didn't take any personal problems or anything like that. You just went in and you were expected to know your music. You were expected to turn up on time and perform. Yes. And that's what we did. We were just... And I guess that's what people do now. I mean, I'm sure they do. Otherwise, it would never go on. But it always... I don't think we had as much support as people have now from their unions and so on.
No.
I mean, principals didn't have much support at all. I mean, you do the job or somebody else does it, really, So we just got on with it and didn't complain. But these days, I think people are a little looked after a little bit more, than when we used to be. I mean, we were not paid equally with men, not at all.
Really?
No, absolutely not. I only discovered that quite recently, actually.
Oh dear.
But I knew at the time that men were considered to be the wage bringer in us, weren't they? And so it doesn't matter that I did twice as much work as quite a lot of the men. Nevertheless, our pay was didn't reflect that. However, that's as it was, and it doesn't detract from the great opportunity that I had. I wouldn't have changed that, of course not. So, but I'm glad for the young people these days that they are looked after better. Yeah.
So, having been talking about the D'Oyly Carte, what would you say was your biggest memory that you take away from those 6 years that you were with the company?
Well, it's really hard to say. I don't know, really. It was all a bit of a whirl, to be honest. I mean, just that it was full on. It was hard work, but it was great having the opportunity to sing all the time, to be with people that I liked and loved, and I still remember very, very fondly. There's not one person that I don't remember fondly.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes. And some of them, of course, I got extremely close to, like Tom and Don. Tom was a neighbour of mine when my first house that I got with in Hertfordshire.
Oh, right.
Near to Watford, Oxley it was, and he used to pick me up and take me to the concerts that they did as well.
Yes.
Once we left the D'Oyly Carte. So there was Tom, I knew very well, with his wife Alice, of course, lovely, wonderful lady, absolute backbone. She really helped Tom so much. And then Don, fantastic, wonderful artist and person. Again, whom I saw go into Grand Opera and so on. Dear Ken, fondest memories. Wonderful performer, very dedicated. So, I remember and treasure, in retrospect, even more perhaps than I realised at the time, how much these people taught me, you know, and how much we loved each other, really, you know.
And it's wonderful if you've got those people that are prepared to share their knowledge and their skills to sort of encourage sort of other people sort of coming on through.
And what I haven't mentioned, John Reed. We were sort of soulmates.
Apart from his misquote in the gondoliers, of course.
Yeah, apart from that, we'll pass over that one, shall we? No,
but John, yes.
John, we were soulmates, John and I. We practically lived together, didn't we? After all, we were on the stage all the time. We were interacting, and he was so inventive all the time. He kept thinking of new things to do and new little moves. He was superb, and he was such a lovely guy to have around. You know. Again, we never had a misword. I know people won't believe it after sort of being so close all that time, but we never did. We just worked together. We both wanted the best we could, and we worked as hard as we could, and we worked. Of course, I did see him quite a lot after. I saw him up at Buxton and so on, and I have the fondest memories of him. Wonderful, wonderful performer.
So really, your memories are of the people
rather
than.
Oh yes,
this is lovely.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's always the most important thing, the people. And I've been extremely fortunate, both in and out of the D'Oyly Carte, with the people that I've met.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. And finally, it doesn't have to be one of your recordings. You say you don't always like sort of listening to them, but if you went to Roy Plumley's mystical Desert Island, which Gilbert and Sullivan track would you take with you?
The Gilbert and Sullivan track. Well, as I say, I probably wouldn't, because I have, I can resurrect most of the operas in my head, if you see what I mean.
So you've got your own jukebox. In your mind.
Well, sort of, yes. You see, I could easily. I find myself getting this worm in my head quite recently of the Major General song.
Oh, right.
I kept going through, and I couldn't get it out of my head, and I thought, so I think that would be happening automatically on a desert island. So I probably wouldn't, to be honest.
No.
But I would take something like Die Frau ohne Schatten, because there's so much in it, and I'd like to be able to make sure I got all the references, and also if I would be allowed to take the whole of the Ring Cycle.
Right.
I'd like to take that, but that's more than one record.
Well,
isn't it?
yes, but I'm not as strict as whoever it is that does it these days. Go back to Roy Plumley.
No. I think you see, there's so much to keep learning from those scores. They're so involved, and so many references that would be most interesting to go through again and to recognise. So yes, probably I wouldn't,
No.
but I would be referring to Gilbert and Sullivan on the Desert Island. I'm quite sure.
Yes.
I would be humming a few of the tunes and.
And although you were never in it, I suppose Utopia Limited, sort of goes back to the desert island. So
yes,
as your book, you could take the score for Utopia.
Well, that's a thought. Yes, I could do that. Yes, I doubt if I would, but I could.
Well, thank you so much for the hospitality and for agreeing to chat to me today. So it's been lovely and a pleasure and an honour to meet you. So thank you, Gillian. Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking the trouble to do it. I hope you'll find some interest in it, but I can't think why.
I'm sure we will. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Lawrence.